That's what it was like. You guys can call me. And we're doing a nice live stream. I do these sometimes. Try to do them often. I do them often. So yeah. So that is our case. So yeah, check out our website. Our website is mewweather.com. MEWWEATHER.com. So we're looking at, if you didn't notice, on top, top left, you can see where we have pollen right there. And also, this is a low pressure system. So, right here, I'm going to go this real quick. So, pollen. So, what does pollen look like? Well, first of all, pollen is great, especially bad actually, in 94. Remember this. This is how I like to remember. Higher the number, like this number this number and this number. The higher the number, the more it's going to be bad. What I mean, it's going to be bad? Well, good question. So the higher the number logically means higher the number, it's going to be very, very bad. It means if you have respiratory diseases and a bunch of other stuff, which I recommend closing all windows, doors, etc. And a bunch of other stuff. Michigan. Welcome to Michigan. Remember, pick other videos. That's... Come on, smartboard. It can work. Okay, so remember, up here is the UP. Here's Lower Michigan. I gotta readjust my volume on my computer because I have to do that. Okay, so moving on. So there we go. Moving on. So UP, Lake Huron, Lake Michigan, and Lake Erie. Like homes. I remember them about like that. Okay. Let's look at our radar, and I will see you in a little bit. Perfect, nothing there. But I do want to point out that even though there's nothing in Michigan, we could see down in Lake Erie. I don't know why I did that. There we go. And you guys can see what's okay. We can just do that. And we can do this. 1, 2, 3. E-R-I. Like Erie. So I'm going to have some mix. Like my other live streams and other videos. Mix. Also known as sleet. Which also known as rain and snow. Yep, that's what sleet is. It's rain and snow combined together. Also, if you, down south near Alabama, and you're going to Georgia, we can see a storm here that's brewing. It's nice and big. It's nice and juicy. We like these storms, good content. If you're a weather person, great. It's good content for everybody. So, the storm is going to move northeast. Yeah, there you go. Northeast. So, the storm northeast, is there a possible tornado? Yes. But remember, a bunch of other educational lessons. Remember, a tornado could form by a hook. And a hook, you know what a hook looks like? It could be buried in there. It will probably look like that. That's a hook. Now, it could be buried in a bunch of other stuff. Sometimes I say there's not a tornado, but a tornado forms because hooks. Now, do tornadoes conform by hooks? Yes and no. Sometimes tornadoes don't form in hooks, but that is very, very, pretty much rare-ish. Here's Lansing's forecast. I don't know how many people live in Lansing. Remember, when we look at any locations, say it in the chat. I'll look at that location. Please do not state your address, but please do state your general location. Let me give you an example. Florida. Port Charlotte, Florida. Example. General location. Do not give me your address. Just a general location. So, Lansing's forecast. See what's happening here? Well, first of all, it's 41 degrees. That's cold. Could be better. But I heard tonight we're going to do a thing called a hard freeze, which means it will be right down to freezing. Good, bad? It's bad. Like, look, 39 to 36. This is going to be kind of like a light freeze here. Good, bad? It's bad. It's chaos. I'm telling you. If it gets any below 30 degrees, that's where water can freeze. And that's where you're going to see pipes breaking and water freezing. It means you're going to have some ice on the road, which means you don't have any school. So if you're having any snow right now, it's definitely either below freezing or more. Also, I don't know why I'm so close to the camera, but that's totally fine. So, I should probably move my camera back. That's fine. Humidity, 51 degrees feels like, because of the humidity. It's comfortable, but it could be better. I'll move the camera back a little bit. There we go. So, moving on. Yeah, that feels much better. Okay, so move it just to the left a little bit. Okay, so, you know what I mean? Just gotta adjust my camera, which I just adjusted my camera. That's good. Maybe a bit angled, but it's totally fine. Just ignore that. Okay, so, don't notice. I can just go down. Here's the radar, which we don't need to worry about that. So, here's part of my favorite tables here. Are these my favorite tables? Yes and no. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. I do not, like one of my, friends, you could call him, he does not trust monthly. So I guess the next month, I agree with him. Don't trust it because, it's so hard in the future. It's like predicting the weather for next year. Weather and variables can change rapidly. Which also means that MSN Weather, which, yeah, I could be plagiarizing, which I probably am, is copyrighted. So I'm plagiarizing. Congrats. But that's totally fine, because I don't care. So, congrats. So, here's the, my favorite tables, this gives you, increments, 1, 2, it doesn't do, 125, 135. No. We can get rid of your keyboard. Okay, so, what's happening here? Lots of things. I don't know do that. I gotta be right here. Okay. So let's see here. So and it's the go back. Okay, starting around, let's say around 10 to 11 p.m. ish. This is the part where you're gonna see some freezing here. Cause at 38 degrees at 11 p.m., then you're gonna see some 38 degrees. That is going to be a light freeze, and that's where water can freeze also. That's going to be cold. Absolutely cold. But then if you continue, 12 a.m., 35, 34, 33, the low for tonight, going into tomorrow, is probably going to be 32 degrees at 3 a.m. 3 a.m., 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That's cold. That's 2 degrees before water freezes. 2 degrees. That is bad. If it goes below than 32 degrees, that's not going to be good. You're going to see pipes breaking after it gets below 32. So, moving on, 35, and all of a sudden temperatures start increasing. But then, 26 degrees at 9 p.m. Now that's below freezing. Most likely, I think. I'm not a scientist, but close. But then, and then at 24, 23, 25, all the temperatures start being increased. But in the 20s, that is freezing. That's pretty much snow can probably fall from the sky. That is absolutely not good. Moving on, 33, 35, 36, and then right around 10 p.m., I forgot what date it is, the 8th, Tuesday, look at what happens. You're going to go back at 10 p.m. in the 20s again. Then you're going to have another freeze on Wednesday. Back to 20s, 24, 23, 22. And then later, everything will go back in the 30s, 40s. But then, 10 p.m. mix. Remember, if you don't remember what mix is, I remind people, even though I said it in my live stream. Nope. Not that one. Mix equals sleet. That's what mix is. Now, sleet equals rain. Whoops. Oh, my hand raised like that. That's fine. Rain and snow. Wow. Is that good or bad or both? Well, think about it this way. Good and bad. Sure, you may not have school. It depends. But then you're going to see pipes breaking because, sleet is just snow and rain. At least it's not a tornado or hail, which that could be the case. Because don't forget, a couple of days ago we had a storm. We had a storm came through a couple of days ago. And then you're going to see some sleet, and then at 10 a.m. you're going to see some rain, and all the way going up to 1 p.m. Is that today? No. That's Thursday. Now, was that it? Was that all your weather forecast? Logically, yes. That's basically all you're going to get from weather forecast. And that and that. And now that is for Lansing. Remember this. You want me to state a location you want me to look at? Do it in the chat. Yep, I'm pointing at my computer because my computer's right there. Do it in the chat. Why did I say do it in the chat? Well, let me tell you something why I said do it in the chat. You're not in this room right now. If you're not in this room, how do I know that you want me to explain something on the radar? I don't. And I'm being mean. I'm not. I'm serious. When I'm doing weather, I am extremely serious. Or I try to be. I'm going to get down to the facts. The absolute facts. Moving on. Well, we're going to look at other forecasts. So, I'm most interested in this storm too. And Rome. Okay, wait. Where did you say Rome? Rome. Okay. Well, first of all, there is an actual Rome in Italy. Yeah. There is Rome in Italy right there. But that's not Italy. If you think that's Italy... Gosh. Seriously, smart board. If you think that's Italy... Nope. That's not Italy. And my smart board just did it again. Congrats, smart board. You gave your reputation. And yeah, I'm probably plagiarizing. But that, if the smart board does this, there's always a quick way. Refresh the screen. Wait until it loads. And then I can do this. Okay. As I was saying before I got interrupted, there's a storm right here, and there's in Alabama, there's Rome. Number one, Rome, it's in Italy, the capital of Italy. And is it a capital? Yeah, but that's not the cap. If it is the capital, then we have 2 to 5 Romes, because Rome is, they have Rome in the United States. Period. Moving on. So, the storm is serious than a hook, and there probably will be. Okay, nope, that's not a hook. Yeah, so we have to be zoomed in on the radar to figure out if there's a hook or not. But either way, a hook could be buried. Let me give you an example. Nope, whiteboard. Let me give you an example of what I mean. A hook can be buried. So, we're going back to our tornado unit. Part 2, I guess you could call it. Not unit, but you know. So, what's happened here? Well, first of all, one, tornadoes are formed when, oh my gosh, when warm air rises off the ground and ignore my funky handwriting there. In fact, I could probably adjust this, make it even. No, let's make it bigger. There is a way I can make it even. I can rotate it a little bit. There we go. Problem solved. When warm air rises from the ground and cold air meets. Okay, putting in this giant long sentence here. I cannot believe I'm going to say it right now, but so warm air rises. Let's make this easy. Warm air rises, right? And if this was a cloud, pretend this is a cloud, what's going to happen is when warm air rises, it's going to meet with blue for cold air. They intertwine. And when they intertwine, they make a spinning motion. When they make a spinning motion, that tornado, that can cause a funnel. And remember, funnel, oops, I think about equals tornado. Now, wait, tornado? Okay, well, first of all, funnel, it just means a tornado in the sky ready to touch the ground. And then a tornado forms. If the funnel cloud touches the ground, that is a tornado. Then we can call that a tornado. But remember, I said there's a hook. Yes, hooks don't look like that. They could be blue. They could be red. They could be yellow. No, wait, nope, I'm doing my hand. It could be yellow. It's all blended in. It's mostly this one. So we're gonna play a game. See how we're gonna play a game. What game are we gonna play? Well, we're gonna play a game called Guess Where the Hook Is. So jump into the hook. Remember, look for this kind of hook, and let's begin. Can you guys find the hook? Well, if you guess, that's a hook, you're correct. Just watch. Why am I right? No, it is. There's the hook. That's how hard the hook can be spot in that mumbled, jumbled mess. So I want to clarify this real quick. If tornadoes can be spotted that humble jumble, seriously. So that means that most likely very little people probably could spot a hook from this mess. Yes, this is pretty conveniently obvious. Like, that could be a hook right there, actually. But it's probably not quite. But that? That's close. And yeah, that could be a hook. that could produce a tornado. No, the storm's probably most likely a super. Now, if you see a tornado come from the storm, that's a supercell. Supercells form by cumulonimbus clouds, which that's where tornadoes come from. They're very big. They can produce hail. If you see hail, yeah, that's a good chance to be a tornado out of that storm. So keep that noted. So moving on, I will keep doing stuff. We're gonna look at warnings, I guess, maybe. I don't want to say I guess, but that's totally fine. Anybody said anything in the comments today? Oh, they did not. That's unfortunate. Let's go to severe weather. Well, okay, so ignore the small craft advisory. Dismiss that. Okay. Well, we look at that. A severe thunderstorm warning. Well, it's red. If you look at the bottom right of your screen. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll move out of the way momentarily. Are you gonna? Come on. Come on. Smartphone does not like me today. So yeah, as I was saying before I got interrupted. Did you turn it off? No, you didn't turn it off. Work. Finally, as I was saying before I got interrupted, on the bottom right of your screen, not necessarily of screen, the smartboard screen. I don't know if you guys can read that. We call this a map key. I call it the map key at least. No, what is a map key? So a map key explains what the color's about. Like, this is extreme, absolutely. This is probably severe. Blue is mild. And yellow is moderate. That's what all of those colors mean right there. Right? If you always need to, you can always look back. So, what's happening next? So, moving on. So, over here we got this major storm here. That's like 1,000 and million warnings. I'm not going to read them all. This could be a aerial flood warning, which that's not good. But, down south, every day, for in this Florida, usually very, very typical. This is a current statement. I don't know why it's blue, but the chances are it's pretty high, especially in Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach, that you could get sucked out to sea like no problem. Because the ocean in rip currents is unpredictable. Remember this. I say this in all my videos. I will say it again. I'll sit down. Currents, warnings or no warnings, storms or no storms, rain, storms, etc. Please be careful. Storm chasing is a dangerous thing. All storms are dangerous, actually. Just a little rip current. That is a mild. So, it says it's mild. But is it really mild? Here's a question I want you guys to answer real quick. Is it mild? Do you think this should be mild? I mean, you don't have to worry about it? Or should it be severe or extreme? I want you guys to answer that. If you're anybody who's watching, which most likely to any, which that's unfortunate. I'll say it lastly. Yet again. Okay. So over here, severe, like Michigan here, we got a gale watch, which remember, gale watch, logic means big waves, just like the Poseidon adventure, which I'm not going to roll the clip, because I can't. But, because it's a live stream. If it was a video, I would love to roll the clip, which I'm not going to do at the moment. But, you know. I think lastly, what I'm going to do next is I think I can pull a bunch of stuff, like, weather. Now, I will tell you why in a few minutes. Why do you think I'm plagiarizing? Which I will show you after I figure out which one should I do. I think I do for information. For information, what we got? Well, we got scattered everywhere. So first of all, it appears we got major fires up here. Some little minor fires. Now remember, bigger the fire, the worse it's gonna be. Yeah, I don't know why I wrote that up. So the bigger the fire, like these, in these, it's going to be very bad. Very, very bad. Great. Well, I guess that's it. We have some in Michigan. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compare these websites with you. I want you guys to figure out which one's best. So here we got MSN Weather, owned by Microsoft. And then we got another website. And called NOAA. Made a mistake, just want to go hit me. So which one's best? I will pick one. I'm choosing this one because, the smartboard was not made for doing this. Now remember, if you don't know, National Oceanic Atlantic Administration. So here we go, they got other stuff published April 1st. April Fools. I'm teasing. So, I gotta go back because, I gotta get to the weather stuff. Okay, so it appears to be that. So NOAA protects nature and stuff. So here's NOAA. Here's AccuWeather, I guess you can call it. Accu. Now I want you guys to compare this, all right? I'm comparing with you guys with you. So I let you choose. Here's AccuWeather. Tells you a little emergency here on the top. Bunch of ads. Here's the ads. Here's your radar. Here's your tables. My favorite. Yeah, I understand that. And here are your videos and your articles, etc. Then we got my radar, which hopefully I can pull this up because I can't. I'm sorry, but here's my radar. Get it on your phone. I can't really. So unfortunately, I can't show you the radar. I have to get it, but if I did, I will definitely do it. So here's the weather. It gets your forecast, flight stuff, etc. Here's your 5 stars. So that's cool. Get the link. Get it down from Microsoft, Google, and Apple Store. Okay, weather, what's going on? And I think that's it. So remember, which one's the best? Well, we have my radar, AccuWeather, which I personally don't like. It's kind of confusing. NOAA, I also don't like. Then MSN Weather, which I plagiarize all the time in all my videos. Which one is the best? Well, yes, I can move the smartboard if I wanted to. I will say my radar is the best. Number one, they don't put copyrights on their stuff, I don't believe. And if they did, they will put it on the bottom right of the screen. And number two, it's free. Get on your phones. Now, what's free enough that your computer, you download on your computer, that's free. Because when you get it for free, what happens is you get some ads, yes, but then you get all the features unlocked. And on your phone, you just get all the features locked. Here, and then we got Missing Weather, which is also great because they just tell you everything's unlocked. You can get ads on the right and left of your screen, but no pop-up ads, nothing else, just everything is free. Then we got Noah, which I dislike a lot because Noah is so confusing. But it's great because it's a government agency. It is straight from the source, and you can view the source. And Missing Weather I don't like because you got ads and etc. and they copyright their work, so I can't plagiarize it. And my little thing cut. Okay, I think that's pretty much it, I guess. Okay. All right, see you guys tomorrow.